Oh, this is different. Well, no, can you see me now? I am live. Nobody's. Can you? Does it say anywhere, would you like to come and join moi? Yeah, go on, say something that I know you're here. Hi. Right, I've tagged some people in. Steve, hello, Steve. Steve, hello. Yeah, I'm going to get off this phone now because I can hear you. Steve, right, see you in a minute. Bye. Right, sorry about that, Steve. That was so unprofessional, wasn't it, darling? Steve, I'm going to wave to you. It's lovely to see you. And Steve, two Steves. How wonderful. Steve, why can't bring Steve on camera? Add. See it, Lady Marcia. Marcia, I've got a new friend for you to meet. This is going to be a fabulous contact for you. No, shush. Like, do you know what, Marcia? I was just on the other live, right? And you can get all these different things to put on, like hats and moustaches, and really. I had this gangster, Steve. Oh, here, look, he's coming on. It was like a trilby and some black Ray-Ban sunglasses. I looked really cool. And I was talking to myself for about 5 minutes, and then I realised I wasn't live. I liked it anyway. Anyway, Steve's coming on. Good evening, the beautiful, the lovely, the Miss MLP. Not NLP, MLP. It's unique. It's very, very unique. As you know, this is the ultimate confidence show. And this evening, I have a guest coming on who I've actually just invited. I can see and hear you. Come on in, darling. Come on in. I keep adding you. Rambo Dan. Hi, Rambo Dan. Hello, Rambo Dan. So nice to actually meet you face to face, Rambo Dan. We've got our super guest for the first time.
Hi. Hello. Hello, Anne. How are you?
Steve, look, Master.
Yes.
Look at this fine
How are you?
Man. Okay.
I think the audio's not too good. Let me just check. The audio is playing up.
No, we can see
you
perfectly.
Hello.
And this is the ultimate confidence show. This is where I invite guests on so that they can inspire you, they can elevate you, they can lift you with their stories of courage and confidence. And this evening, I am very, very blessed to have my wonderful friend Steve with me, who I'm sure is going to move you to do more, be more, want more, because his story is inspirational. And I'm so very, very blessed and grateful and proud that Steve has chosen to be with me this evening. So,
hello.
Hello, Steve. I'm just going to wait.
And how are you?
Rambo Dan is watching. Say hello to Rambo Dan.
And hello, Rambo.
Rambo, I know, it's cool, isn't it? And we've got Steve Sullivan. Steve, introduce yourself on the screen as well, because I'd like to know how you like to introduce yourself. He's a MLP. Steve is a spiritualist, and he does Reiki and all that really interesting stuff, all that stimulating your brain stuff. Your namesake, who's here. Good evening, Steve. Steve. Steve, you look devastatingly handsome this evening, and I have to say.
What you after? You're after my money, aren't you? I haven't got nothing. I'm skint, love. I've got no money. No money.
That's what we're really after, and I'm gonna really drill you down to this later. We're looking to make a New Year's Eve celebration. Me and my good friend, and a couple of others of us who are enlightened folk who are on a higher level that just want to meet and really be in good company to see the new year in. You know what they say? The people, the environment, the feeling, the emotion that you feel on New Year's Eve is what carries you through to the rest of the year. I know it's an old wives' tale, but it's a nice thing to think about, isn't it?
Well, we are creators of our own world, so if you believe it, you can manifest it. It will happen. It's totally here and up to you.
Good. Thank you.
There you go.
Steve, give us a little bit of insight into you.
Insight into me? Do you really want to know? Have you got a week? Well, mine's been quite a colourful journey, and for being in the big world of money and business, etc., I fell foul to a very serious addiction. drug cocaine addiction. So cocaine, champagne lifestyle, loads of money, the addiction. What was a social event became a naughty addiction. And I found that, when you've got money, everybody wants to help you. There's therapists, there's rehab, there's this, there's that. There's so much around to help. And I was giving my money, trying to get help, trying to get help, trying to get help. Didn't work. And eventually you fall down and you are in pieces.
Yeah.
Then you have no money, and then there's no help.
Yeah.
But
Gone.
it's obviously at the time I'm crying, I'm grieving. But looking back now, in hindsight, it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it's put me on this journey that I'm on now.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you are in that world of finance and wealth, you in a sense, you become selfish. You just think about yourself, your peers, and just do what you do without thinking about other people. And I think by falling down flat on my face and starting all over again, a new perception. You see
Yeah.
people for what they have in their heart. To me, true wealth now is what you have in your heart and your mind. Where
Yeah.
in the old days it was about that, wasn't it? This is
Yeah.
what you've got here. That's what I truly believe now, and it
You
put me
think
on this journey where
other men that you,
you.
other men that
Pardon?
you, other men that you were friends with around that time, is it when you're talking about confidence, where you were at that time, how did you define confidence back then, and how do you define confidence now? Because it's really different. The person who I know now is nothing like that person back then. So what did you feel was how you showed yourself to be confident then, as
But
opposed
you use finance and the car and all the wealth, and that was confidence to show you. You thought you had to be that have all them things to be a man.
yeah,
I'm the man. I've got the car. I got this. I got that. And you walk around with your chest sticking out. And that to me was confidence then.
yeah,
But when stuff happens and you fall down, that's all nonsense.
yeah,
Real confidence is being your authentic self. If someone upsets me now, I'll say I'm upset.
yeah,
If someone makes me cry, I'll cry if I have to cry. Because I'm human. I've got a heart. And I think when you grow up, we bring up girls and boys in two different ways. Girls are allowed to be emotional, and yourself, when the girl's upset with someone, the girls will get together, have a little drink, and they'll chat, and they'll get it all out.
yeah,
And guys will keep it in. As a man, you have to show this masculine thing where we're tough. We don't need to do this sort of stuff. This for the women.
yeah,
Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
yeah,
For what I know, I think men probably as emotional, probably more emotional than women, but women find it easy to communicate that feeling. Men find that difficult. That's why you get these guys in the pubs and they get drunk and they fight. They do all stupid things. Frustration.
absolutely. And let me ask you, so in that environment that you used to be in all those years ago, where you had
Yeah.
to get your confidence through drugs to try and make you project yourself as being in control and
Yeah.
the big I am, yeah. So it's all a false confidence, and it's built
Absolutely.
taking any kind of drug that would manage, but there's consequences to that. Now what I want to
Yeah.
ask you is, when that you were around then with that kind of confidence, were you able to keep them as friends when you decided to show yourself and be your true, authentic, vulnerable self? Were you able to keep those same friends, or are they still trying to puff themselves out of you? How have you made that
I
transition? You have friends now.
Yeah, I have friends. It was really strange because I had good friends when I started off, and when you go into that financial world, it's about who's got the most. It's about the wealth, and in a way, I sort of left my original friends behind because in this different world, you work and you socialize with these people, but then when you fall to grace, because you're not part of the gang now, they give you that. But I have found that I've actually gone back to the guys that I knew from who I grew up with, and
Oh,
I can phone some of my really good friends up there and say, you know what, I feel really pissed off today, and tell them why. And it's actually quite strange as a man when you open up to other men, they open up as well, and
really?
it's really yes,
So
because
you're
I love it now because
a gift to
I
other
really
who may not
sorry,
necessarily even have that outlet to their wives or their girlfriends. You're giving
yeah,
by being open, and I keep saying
yeah,
vulnerable, because to me vulnerability is a strength. To be able to
yeah,
say I feel a certain way, and I just want to share that with you. Most of the time, people say you're all right. You never say, actually, no, I feel really terrible. Who wants to hear that, right? So when you
absolutely, yeah,
say, well, actually, no, things are not going as well as what I would have liked. Everybody wears a mask. Everybody wears their public mask, and to be able to be vulnerable, you know, I really want you to talk about your lovely lady, because
oh,
I met. Let me just quickly tell everybody where I met Steve. So, me and Steve have the same work coach. We both do the same job. We're both clinical hypnotherapists. He deals with addictions, and I deal with confidence and overcoming trauma. As does Steve as well. But we kind of found our niche, right, Steve?
Yeah.
And our niche. And our work coach said to Steve, why don't you go and speak to Anne-Marie? She may be able to. Absolutely, Janet. Vulnerability does take courage. Hi, guys. Hi, Jacqueline. And the work coach referred Steve and said, here's Anne-Marie's number. Go and ring her. So Steve rings me out of the blue and says, look, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. I want to chat with you, see how it's going. And we met in Chelmsford. And I'm going to tell you this. We met in Chelmsford. And we were sitting outside in the little market square, and we spent about 2 hours. And in that 2 hours, Steve was so sensitive, so caring, and so lovely. I was, number one, I was shocked because when he first walked out of the car park door, a big black man coming towards me, looking, I was like, oh, wow. I was a bit scared because you weren't what I thought you were going to be. I thought it was, I didn't know what I thought, but he came towards me and I was just like, chill. And he sat down and the warmth that emanated from you. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know you know it. I'm a crybaby. I put my hands up. But that conversation we had that day even allowed me to open up, because I don't know about any of the other women out there. But, you know, if you've had difficult relationships with men, sometimes it puts up a barrier. It does put up a barrier. Please, ladies, you know this is true. It puts up a barrier, and maybe you're not able to relate. You're not able to open yourself up to men as you'd like to through fear of rejection or vulnerability. And I opened up to Steve that day. I had a few tears. Yeah, can you believe that? In that first 2 hour meeting. In fact, I actually said to him, do you remember, Steve? I said to you, can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? Because he's just genuinely lovely and nice. And
thank you.
It takes courage to come from, have such a difficult journey where I'm sure if I'd have met you 15 years ago, you'd have scared the bloody daylights.
No, I wouldn't.
But as you so far, and for you to have really just rebuilt yourself as this totally open and loving and giving person is, I just think it's just so amazing. And I said to you, didn't I, on that day, I think we're going to be friends for a really, really long time, because you just give off, you allow people to feel vulnerable in your presence. And I think that must be magnificent for a man to be in your company and feel, oh my gosh, all that weight that I'm carrying, all that stuff that I'm carrying from the wife, from the you know, having to earn the money, I'm not earning as much as what I'd like, the pressure to be able to come and say to you, Steve, struggling, man. It's such a powerful thing to be able to say to another man, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. But I say, because I'm here as well, because I have the love of a very good woman as well. That makes a difference. You know, if you find someone you truly love, that person, they love you. You both are very vulnerable. You're so open. You know, she knows everything about me. I know everything about her. We know what makes each other's tick, and that has made a massive difference in my life as well. Just to have that love.
Yeah.
I've always believed love is the strongest power in the universe. If you've got that, you've got everything. Love can conquer all. It's as simple as that, really. You know.
And talking about your lovely lady, she came with a ready-made family. And let me ask you, as a man, okay, I have 3 wonderful children. You know, I'm a single parent. I'm on the single parents family. And we were actually at an event on Saturday. I spoke at the launch of the Single Parents Hub, and there was a guy there called Armin Muller, and he's a wine expert. And he actually gave a speech on stop being ice queens. He was saying, any women out there, you've got your Beyonce attitude on, right? You're giving it all that. I don't need help. You're all down your nose. And he said it's so unattractive. And, you know, it scares us men off. And I notice there's a lot of men that are scared of women these days. There's not many real men. You're to me a real man, Steve, because you're vulnerable, but yet you're strong. And you can feel that when they meet you. But I think a lot of men have become intimidated by these ice queens. What would you say about that?
Oh, definitely. From people I speak to, you know, especially the older, more mature men, so we say, because men were used to doing the hunting, weren't they? They were the men, and they would hunt. Women now know what they want, and they're hunting as well now. And women are hunting, and these guys, what's going on? They don't know what to do. Men are scared.
You
And
need
I know a lot of guys my age.
empowerment
Um,
for men.
pardon? Sorry,
You
I
need
missed that.
some confidence, ultimate confidence courses for men to show men how to be real men. And that includes
Possibly, yeah.
community. I think that'd be a fantastic idea, Steve. I think there's many women on here that would love to send their husband to you.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, a lot of men. It's just because things are changing. Dynamics of relationships are changing, and a lot of men haven't got a clue what to do. And I spoke to a guy the other day, and I've known this guy for a minute. Really soft-spoken, lovely guy. And I found out he came to see me, and he broke down because he apparently he became violent with his partner. And I said, this has never been you. What's going on? And he said, mate, it's a lack of communication, and he gets extremely emotional. Then he gets frustrated, and then he breaks out. He said, I don't mean to do it. I just can't help it. I said, well, you can help it because ultimately we are responsible for our actions,
Yeah,
and no one deserves that. No one deserves that.
yeah.
And we're working together to resolve that situation. But there are a lot of men who do need help, and I suppose it's fear. For what the fear, they can't get it out. They find it very difficult to express themselves because a man traditionally should be a man. You can't let anyone know how vulnerable you are.
How
They
can
keep that in.
women empower and enable men to be more communicative? What can we do that will allow you to be vulnerable?
That word again, love.
Oh, Steve, you're too
That
cute.
word again. That's what it is. If we can, we have to learn to love ourselves and love our partners. That one word, that it just means so much and it carries so much weight. And people might laugh their heads off it, but that is a very, very powerful emotion. And if you truly love each other, talk, communicate, just say, I love you. I mean, very few people actually say that these days. Just go up to your man or your woman, just put, for no reason at all. You don't know what.
Remember when you told me before, in the previous relationships you have, you were telling me about your friend that you'd had for years, who now has seen you in your beautiful relationship with this lady that you love, and that
Yeah.
you said she came and she said, I'm gonna tell you as a woman, that's the worst thing when you have. I'm gonna be a bit naughty here. When you
Yeah.
broke and down, right? You've got him where you need it, and then he goes off and another woman gets all that hard work that you put in, right? Right? It's true. It's
Well, as I say,
times. Just get them well, they run off and someone else goes, yeah, someone's already. Anyway, no, I'm joking, but not really. But
yeah. Stop all that. Stop that nonsense, Madam. I better
right,
take him for some therapy, I think.
Steve, right, your ex, whatever. She,
Oh, yeah.
Steve, how comes you are this amazing man, and yet when you was with me, you was a dog? Like, what happened? What happened?
Well, I think you better retract that statement as a dog. I was never a dog. I think in my mind I've always been a good guy, but I think it's that word love again. If you find someone, the lady I have now, because I can feel that love emanating from her, and I love her, you just drop all your barriers and you're real you. And there are days when I say to her, I'll phone her, I say, you know what, I just feel really down today, and she'll say, okay, I love you, and she come put cuddle. It just seems to solve all the problems.
Yeah,
But if we can have that closeness,
I do
it'll
think,
solve it.
it's like it's such a we work against each other sometimes because
Yeah,
if the man doesn't want to be vulnerable and let that guard down, then the woman is too scared to approach him to give him a cuddle because he's like, no, I
yeah,
don't need that. And so really both of what you both want to do is just to hold each other in that moment and
yeah,
look. And Lisa, my good friend Lisa Cohen is watching, and let me say something. This lady has been on a magnificent journey, her and her wonderful husband, and I've
yeah,
seen blossom. I've seen them blossom as a couple for all the reasons that you just said there, Steve. When they allow love in and everything else to fade away, everyone else's opinion, everybody else around them,
yeah,
everyone's saying, oh, you should do this. Because sometimes that's the worst thing, isn't it? Is you listen to your friends. You go to your friends
yeah.
and said this to me, and I don't know what I don't know what stand I should make. And your mate says, "Oh, I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that at all. I'll tell you what you want to go and do for him." And they tell you all these little tricks and things you can do, but they're not you. They're not in
That's
your.
right.
They're not with your
Yeah,
man. And
that's
sometimes
right.
they're from a place of incongruency and unfulfillment themselves. So they can't
Absolutely.
do that advice. And what you've learned to do, it seems to me, you've listened to your own heart and how you feel,
Absolutely.
reacted on
Yeah.
that.
Follow your heart. Absolutely. Every time. Because if you listen to people, you get torn from pillar to post and you become lost.
Yeah.
You know, so if you do, I take a lot of time to be on my own and I start to meditate a lot. And, time on your own. And who am I? What do I want? What do I really need? How much, that sort of stuff. And no disrespect to your friends and that, they've got different lives and they're going through different journeys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't listen to them.
And,
Listen to your heart.
and I love the fact that you said meditation. I've heard this word for, I think, the second time today. And who was it that I was just having a conversation with? I was just having a conversation with, and they were saying to me that, oh, I know, it's a lady I think we have with us. I was exactly saying that. It's about making time for yourself, getting to know yourself, loving yourself, putting yourself in that space of the questions that you just asked. Who am I?
Yeah,
Who to be? What am I working?
absolutely. Yeah.
We are a work in progress, and every
Yes.
day. Good evening, Holly. How's the camping? Sorry, I digress. We are a work in progress, and it's not like you like for an exam. You study for an exam, you get there, you do the exam, and you pass. You don't have to think about it again. And most times,
Yeah.
when we pass that exam, we can't actually even remember what we had to learn to get to that point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's important for people to know that you are always a work in progress, and that there's no point when you stop. You don't just get to a point and think, oh, well, I think I know everything now, so I'm just not going to bother to do any personal development. I'm not going to work on myself. That's where
You
it
must. You must. Yeah, because another thing I do, I say with the love stuff. I mean, you get a lot of clients, and I always say to them, today I want you to write a love letter. I say, who to? Write it to yourself. Write a
yeah,
love letter to yourself. Because
yeah,
most of us are conditioned. We're conditioned to pay more attention to the things, but our weaknesses,
yeah.
society, the culture, everything talks about people weaknesses. No, 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 no. Focus on your strengths, because where you focus, that's where energy flows. So you need to do that. I get them to just grab a pen and paper. I say, I'll tell you what, right now, get a pen, get a paper, write down 20 things you appreciate or respect or love about yourself. And they all go, ooh. I said, no, be serious, time on your own, 20 things. Now, write down 10 little quirks, 10 little unique attributes that set you apart from everyone else, because that's what really sets you apart from the crowd. That's what makes you so special. Them 10 things. I said, call a friend, call a family member. Get them to say what they think about it. Tell them the truth. What's really nice about it. You tell me the good things. And then just write a really nice, heartfelt love letter to yourself. It makes you feel good. Some
Yeah.
people find it very difficult. A lot of people do find it difficult.
Well,
You
you
learn to
know what,
love yourself.
Steve, and I've said this today. I did a confidence course for young people aged 14 to
Yeah,
17. And the place where you can start to learn to love yourself is by learning to love others. And what I said to them was, when you start giving compliments out to other people, it's a really good way of practicing hearing those positive, lovely words like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you're really nice today. I love the color of that dress on you. It really flatters your face. The more you say it, the more you hear that niceness coming out of you, the easier it is when people say it back to you to accept it. We're not
yeah,
very good at compliments. We're not very good
yeah,
at other people, because I give compliments all the time. Anything I
yeah,
notice, I'm going to tell you, because I think it's important that you know that we appreciate you. We appreciate the effort that you've made. We appreciate what you're doing. And when you start saying it to other people, you set up an energy flow, and people start
yeah,
recognizing it and they
yeah,
pass it on. An example of this is, when you're driving and you come to a road and you let someone out.
yeah.
If you let someone out, what you'll notice 10 times out of 10 times is, as they drive on the road, they'll let the next person out. You do something nice and they want to, you're
Yeah,
perpetuating this. Do you see what I
yeah,
mean?
contagious. Isn't it? It's very
Yeah,
contagious, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
every little thing helps, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
talking about ultimate confidence, Steve,
Yes, yeah.
you were in a life, you were in a lifestyle where you
Here we go.
had,
Dr. Steve. Yeah, go.
you had, I'm gonna, you had a lifestyle where being, uh, having a false confidence made you a lot
Yeah,
of money and got you everything that you want. And when you had to make that choice, whether it was made for you or not, where you had to say, I've got to leave that false confidence behind and I've got to step up as my true authentic self. Do you remember that time? Do you remember that shift where you said, I've got to step away from all that I was?
And I think it's about stepping away. I think when you, especially with the addiction side of things, when you hit rock bottom, you just don't care no more. You know, you get to a stage where you don't even care if you want if you're alive or dead. You have suicidal thoughts, them sort of things. You don't care. So now you start to think, you know I don't care if I live or die, but hold on,
Wow.
um, might well just be me. Why should I worry about no one else though? Because this is my life. If I'm upset, I'm upset. If I'm happy, I'm happy. Why should I try to pretend to be anything for anyone else? We're on this planet for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Every moment's got to count, and I just look at myself as what lucky. Everyone talks about winning the lottery. Well. We are all lottery winners. Every single person here is a lottery winner because on the day of conception, when that sperm hit that egg, it was 20 zillion sperms. I don't know how many the number is. Only one sperm made it. And that is you, that's me, that's us. We're all lottery winners. So let's go out and enjoy ourselves, and make the most and inspire and help and support others. Oh, I could go on forever.
Absolutely, celebrating the uniqueness of each and every one of us, because
Yes.
I think to myself, it is truly amazing. You can go into deep, but there's only one fingerprint of you. There's actually only one. How many flipping people, millions, is there in the world? And there's only you. Rock bottom. If you can look up, you can get up. I like that. Janet says that. If you can get up, I like that. I have to say to you, I'm going to read out some of these comments. Your friend
Please,
Ellie, I've seen him drive. He never lets anyone out.
Sense of humour's good.
LSD, did you not get all my messages about coming to your studio and cutting some tracks, man? Is that LSD?
Well, LSD, as you know, I've known that gentleman when he was a schoolboy, and he's the man that I can talk to and open my heart.
Oh,
top man.
Is your BFF? That's
BFF.
BBF, best friend.
Oh yeah, he's my BBF. Yeah, yo BBF.
Oh,
yeah, but
that's nice.
because me and this, we can talk about stuff that most guys wouldn't even consider.
We've got to get to this age before we can be actually real with each other, though. Isn't it a shame?
Yes,
If
absolutely.
you're able to be this real when you were 21, you would have got the woman of your dreams and lived happily ever after. Because we were too busy until we made it. That's not a word. But because we were too busy, faking it, we ended up with proper silly men or silly women.
Well, better late than never. If I didn't get there till I was 52, I was, I think, when I met my young lady, and all my life I was slagging off the Essex girls, and I'm going to marry one now. So here you go.
Oh, is this a proposal?
Nobody proposed to her, but that's I've already done the engagement. I went to school and went down on one knee, done it, done that business.
Girls, let me tell you, this was the bloody man for milk tray kind of stuff. It really was. I watched it on video, and they videoed it, and she was totally unprepared and didn't know. And he just said that, like one of them kind of Harry Met Sally moments, and he just said all the right words, and I was just like, oh, shut up. It was so cute. It was so.
Oh, no, she's a good girl. I say because we met her, it was real. I say when I first met her, it was like I was down on the floor at the time, and I went to, most of the time you want to take a young lady out to dinner, and I said to her, when I get a few kids, we'll go for dinner, etc. And she said, no, you don't need money. I want you for you. I thought, oh, that's the first time I ever encountered that. And our first date was in the Sainsbury's car park. Me and this lady, she got in my car about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. And we sat there till about 3 a.m, laughing and joking. It was like I met my best friend. I've got another friend as well, but my best friend. We sat in the car, we laughed and joked. So my first date was in a car park of Sainsbury's for 6 hours. And we talked and we laughed. And she was quite correct in what she said, was that if we was in a restaurant, Steve, you've got the staff, you've got the food, you've got all them distractions. We're in a car, it's just you and I, and the two of us, and that bit of space. And that's how we got to know each other. And the rest is history.
And you know what was really... This is the other thing I like about Steve, how vulnerable he can be, how honest he can be. He was telling me that, a little bit later on in the relationship where he was starting to have real feelings for her.
Oh, yeah.
I know, Steve. I remember all these things because it's like reading a story. And I just, it melts me every time I think about it. And we're all looking for that person that you portray. We're all looking for that person that can really be so open and honest, because you know what, Steve, it allows us to be open and honest, and it's very rare that you find that. in well, I don't know, maybe all you lovely ladies out there have found that person. I'm well, Jill, if you have, but I'm still looking. Steve, you need to do a masterclass.
You, I'm sure you will.
How to allow a woman to love. There's your class. How to allow a woman to love you.
Okay, we'll have to work on it. We'll talk about it another day. There you go.
Yes, yes. But go on, tell
yeah, definitely.
the story of when you realised that you were falling in love.
Yeah, it was after. It's only a week or two afterwards, and then we I had the feelings I had for this young lady. It was, I thought I couldn't handle it. I thought I've never felt this in my life, and I didn't know what to do. And I actually phoned her up. I said, "Listen," I said, "you know, I really think a lot of you. I'm having feelings that I've never had before, and I'm scared. I'll be honest, I'm scared."
Yeah.
And she said, "Steve, you know, people born and they die, and they never have that. They're looking for what you've got. We can't let this go." And I just put the phone down. I thought, she's right. You know, she's right. She's actually spot on because people
Go
are
back
looking for them.
and say you're wrong.
Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
How long did it take for you to be able to, for you to realise I've made a mistake and I need to be confident enough to say, yeah, you're right. Let's try
I know, it
something.
was just that day. It was on the same day after the initial conversation. It was that day. I just sat back and I thought, she's right. You know, you're a long time dead. Let's go for it. Just go for it. What have I got to lose? I've got everything to gain. And
Good.
so that's me so far, and loving every minute of it.
Talking about you with everything to gain.
Yeah.
So tell us what's happening with you now. That was all of the way back then. You've come so far. You moved out of London, moved over to Malden. What are your plans for the next 6 months to take your life up to the next level?
Well, I said now I'm out of London. I'm out to Essex now. I'm actually looking for premises now to take Essex by storm. It's part of my world domination.
Yes.
Love that. We start off with Malden, then we spread out, and away we go. The world is your oyster. There's lots of stuff I'm looking at.
Tell everybody that's listening what you specialise in and why you specialise in that. And if there's anybody that's this is the time when you can talk to people who maybe aren't able to be honest with anybody else, that would really want to hear a message that could allow them to do something different.
Well, my specialist subject, as they say on University Challenge, addiction. Because where I've been, obviously we do drugs, alcohol, weight management comes into it as well. But it's been mainly the drug side of things, because there is no integrity in that drug. When you're on that stuff, you lie and you cheat and you do all sorts of, because you're mentally you're not there, you know. And I knew how I was when I was like that, and I've come a long way. So I truly believe, whether someone's up there, down there, whatever's going on spiritually, I was put on that path for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe what I have done with my life, I'm very lucky to be alive. Someone has kept me alive for a reason, and that reason is to help others. Absolutely. And that's my life path. My life path is, I was lucky that I got out where I got for a reason, as I say. So all those, well, I don't know, people benefit from my luckiness. I will help them to be lucky as well, and get them out of that situation.
Person that falls prey to addiction, is it one particular type of, what are the characteristics allow someone to fall prey?
There isn't. You know, it doesn't matter what your age, your colour, your gender, sexuality. It doesn't care. It doesn't care. You know, and it's a horrible. I mean, so many. I've lost a few people along the way as well. It doesn't care. So that's why I'm so passionate about doing it. And if I have to go at someone's house at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm on the door to get them out of that dark place they're in. But you know, that's me. I'm there. I ain't going over for the next 20, 30 years. I'll probably be an old man, me walking stick, money man, trying to save the world. But here I am. Yeah, definitely.
And I think, and this is where for me gratitude comes into it, right? Because you know, you and I both have come from a past where there were dark times, and for many, many years, I was a victim. I look back at my past. It wasn't my fault that I was in care. It wasn't my fault that I was treated a certain way. It wasn't my fault that certain things were done to me. It wasn't my fault. And I went around hating the world. And I carried this story around for so long. You know, I'd get close to somebody and we'd start talking and I'd tell them my story, my angry story. And I probably scared everybody away that everyone actually wanted to love me. I probably scared them away because I just had this story. And I just clung onto this story, because if I didn't have this story, who was I without my story? Yeah. So I clung onto it and I clung onto it. And then there comes a day for anybody who has a story where you have to decide, are you going to leave the story behind and actually try and make a future for yourself? Or are you just going to keep carrying this story that is making you more angry and miserable and wizened and nasty and do things that you don't want to do? And I think when you're in that situation, when you're faced with just leave the story behind, the only way that you can leave that story behind is to, number one, forgive yourself for everything. Absolutely. In the past, for every single thing. Forgive yourself. And there's a certain way that you can do that. It's called mirror work. And any of you that are listening out there, if there's anything that you feel you need to forgive yourself for, go and get the book. In fact, it's in my handbag. I'm going to show it to you now. This is it. It's a fantastic book. It's called Mirror Work, and it's by Louise Hay. And it teaches you how to fall in love with yourself, because we all need to. You cannot be in love with anybody else if you can't be in love with yourself. So this book is a Bible. Okay. So when you can actually, that's number one, you forgive yourself. Number two, when you can look back at your past and say, thank you, universe, source, God, Buddha, whoever it is that you know is greater than you, when you can say thank you for everything that happened to me, for every brutal, nasty, undeserving thing that happened to me, thank you. Thank you for giving me those experiences, because if it wasn't for those experiences, I wouldn't have all this love, this insight, this wisdom to be able to give out and transform lives. So it is only by the grace of whoever you believe, having that experience, bringing myself forward, that I can be this amazing, and it is, you are an amazing person, Steve. We are amazing. Where we
absolutely
can be this amazing people to be able to give. And you know, when you think about it like this, and some people might not be able to be as humble as this, but I believe I suffered everything that I suffered, but I've transformed so many lives, and therefore that suffering was worth it. That's how I believe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm the same belief system. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the people that can't get over that story are the people that you and I see with the addiction. Yeah, with the failed relationships that at the same time, every time they're falling prey to the same mistakes. That they're because they're hating and they're hurting. People who hate hurt go on to hurt. And people who have found true love within are the ones that are able to go and give true love without. So absolutely. We're both from the same boat there, where we focus on everything that we brought with us to empower our futures, empower everybody that we come into contact with, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that is the one word, as you say, gratitude. You have to be grateful for everything that's happened to you up until this day.
Then, gratitude. My next book. Look, I'm going to start from Amazon. In fact, I am. I'm going to set up an affiliate link with thingy, because I've actually got a gratitude book. Okay. It's over there. I can't bother to get up over there. But since I've been practicing gratitude, I'm going to tell you, Steve, my life has changed dramatically. And I'm not even going to go into it, because I went into it yesterday and I've turned into a bit of a blubbery baby. So I don't want to do that one again today. But there are plenty of people up there that July the 20th, Saturday, July Saturday the 20th, will be my very first gratitude retreat.
Gratitude retreat?
Yes. Oh, listen to this. And it says, oh, look, good evening, Adam. How are you? I saw your new dog. Too cute. He's got a new dog. I don't do dogs.
What dog has he got?
Janet, thank you, God. Thank you, God, that I survived everything and learned from the pain. And I think that is the message, isn't it, Steve? It's the learning. If you go all of that, if you go through your past and you don't take something away and learn from it, then then you've had a shit life, right?
Well, I think you have to go through the pain barrier to understand. Well, say you don't understand good until you've had bad. You know, you go through the shit, and then you appreciate the lovely things that are out there now.
That's the growth, isn't it? That is actually the growth.
Absolutely, yes, spot on.
You're sharing this evening. Shaquille, good evening, Shaquille says, true, Steve, the world is your oyster. Go out and claim it. Yeah? Abundance. And we must we are doing a disservice to all who you believe in if you don't go out and claim your abundance. Okay, we were born to have everything that we want to have, and if you live with a minimalist mindset with a low level limit on your life, then you are not doing the world a justice, because you are put into the world to give of yourself, to be the very best version of yourself. The world is waiting for you to show yourself, and the world is watching you to show how we should treat you. So whatever you accept is what you will be given. And the more you demand, is that the right word? Ask.
Yeah.
It's about the allowing state, isn't it, Steve?
Yes.
The more you receive.
Yeah. If I use that word, then my mother would have gone.
That's old school, though, isn't it? That's old school.
Yes, right. Yes, there's the old Caribbean style of parenting. Yeah. Oh,
So are your
won't
mum
go there.
still here, Steve?
They're in Dominica,
Are you
in the West Indies. They're both still alive in Dominica. They came over. There was a hurricane last year, and they both came over. And they came over to stay with me in Essex, and they loved it. And as I say, my Sally, I'm going to plan to go. I haven't got a date yet, but we'll be getting married on a beach in Dominica. That's where we'll be doing it.
Steve, I'll do anything. I'll do the hors d'oeuvres. I tell you what. I'll be the one that does all the petals afterwards. I'll be the one that ties up. I don't care.
Yeah. They just want to be there. But yeah, that's the plan, Dominica. It's because obviously Sally's parents have passed, so we said, just go out there and do it for my mum and dad. I'm the oldest of three, and my mother said, I think the only one she's still alive. She said the other two are okay; they're all settled. She said, my son. She said, from the age of 14, I lost my son. He became possessed. I'm still waiting for him to come back.
Wow, from
That's
14,
what I mean.
you were struggling with
Yeah,
finding.
well, 14, I was yeah.
And
14, a bit of a wild child from 14.
when would you say
Sorry,
that?
I
14.
can't hear. Sorry.
You said that you were struggling to find your true identity from the age of 14.
Oh yeah, that's when shit's hit the fan at 14. Yeah.
Wow. Is this when you were
Yeah. When I was.
Is this when you were living in Hackney?
That's quite living in Hackney at the time. Yeah.
How long were you in Hackney for? How hard was it to get away?
Well, I was born in Hackney, born and bred in Hackney, boy. I lived there till I was probably mid-20s.
Do you think that the environment that you were born into, where you were living, was part of the reason why you found it so hard to find your true identity, because of what was around you? Yeah. Nature or nurture?
I suppose. Because I always pick. I mean, I spoke to Roy about it. As far as identity is concerned, I think when growing up in Hackney, I suppose how I was with when I was growing up, my parents didn't teach me colour. We were just people, and grew up. When you're kids, you grow up, you ride your bike, you play your football, you do all that sort of stuff. And I was playing. Then when we got to about the age of 14, the boys play kiss chase, don't they? With the girls. Don't know if you remember that game.
Yeah.
It was played years ago. We wouldn't have had computers and tablets. We play silly games, and they had kiss chase where the boys would chase the girls. You give them a kiss, and at the group I was the only black guy there, and the girls wouldn't play it because I was there because of the colour of the skin. So imagine a 14-year-old kid, your whole life falls apart. But they're my friends. All of a sudden you realise colour. So then you start to look for guys with the same colour to go around these guys, so you can be with the same colour people because we're the same. But then they say, no, you're no good to us because you were the white guys. You're in limbo. No one wants you. And then you find a bunch of guys who are out smashing windows, causing all sorts of havoc. They don't care what colour. You just go out and cause havoc together. Right. And that's where you go. And you get lost in that world of madness, And I think since you've been a child, you struggle to find identity.
Exactly. Identity and acceptance. And unfortunately, if the street, and I think that's the same for so many young people, it's
absolutely
find the acceptance, and sometimes by default. And I know for myself, my son, he's 15 years of age, and when we lived over in Pilgrim's Hatch, I was a nursery manager, and I was going out of the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm coming home at 9 o'clock at night to give them the life that, as a single parent, that I wanted them to have the same as everybody else. But what I didn't realise was that while I was trying to give them the life that they craved, they were missing that time with me, and they were looking for family. They were, I was out working, and I'm saying, you stay in till I get in. They're saying, yeah, mum, can we just play out a little bit? And they were playing out, and I thought it was all innocent, but where I lived at that time, it wasn't so innocent. And there was a family on the street waiting to claim them, waiting to accept them, you see? And you're oblivious, you know what I mean? They're your little ones. You're just not aware. You're just giving them all the nice things. You're working hard and you're just focused on being the best mum that you can be. And then all of a sudden, you're like, whoa, all the things that I was working to avoid are here on my doorstep. And that's a hardship because you're just doing the best that you can. You know what I mean? And I'm sure your mum must have felt the same, Steve. While your mum and your dad provide for you and do everything that they possibly could to give you the life that you deserve. And all you wanted to be was accepted by your peer group. There's nothing you could have done about that, is there?
No, that's all. That's why you just want a sense of belonging. You want to belong at that age. That's why you have gangs, all this sort of stuff. You need to belong somewhere. And if you've got nowhere to go, then it just causes havoc with your mind.
Yeah.
And you carry that into adulthood sometimes. And, you know, you say you brush it off, but you carry it into adulthood. But then things still stay in your mind. And it will manifest itself in a different way or shape or form in later life.
Absolutely. Right. And 9 times out of 10, you've got to reach rock bottom and be on the floor. Scraped off the floor. But as Janet said earlier on down in the feed, she said, if you can look up, you
can get up.
Exactly. Listen,
fix up.
No, I think that's really, really true. So I just want to say that to any mums that are out there, you know, you're doing the best job you can, and children can be, and you know, social media makes it so easy for them to be secretive. You know, I think up until they were 12 years old, because I paid a bill, I'd be like, I want to see your phones down here. I'd be going through the phones. But you know what? There comes a point, even as a parent, as your mum and dad did, they have to trust you, right? You have to know you brought them up well enough, that you've equipped them with enough understanding of making the right decisions for themselves. Ultimately, you are raising your children to be able to be their own correction, their own discipline. And I think it's a real mistake when these parents can be overbearing and like, let me check this, let me check that. Because you know what? You're not giving your child any responsibility or accountability. What you're doing is you're micromanaging them. And then all of a sudden, when you're out of town or when you're out at work at the nursery till 9 o'clock in the evening, that's when, wow, we're free. Let's go and wreak havoc on the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right, absolutely, yeah.
Putting in those opportunities to, you know, like, I always say to the children, there's 3 things that you need to think about whenever you're in a situation that you're not quite sure about. What's the possibility? What's the probability? What's the worst case scenario? And when you think about those things, if that worst case scenario is worth the consequences of what you want to do it. If not, always be prepared that worst case scenario will knock on your door. You know what I mean?
But today we'll think about it. I think, remember, we were kids, we didn't think of consequences. You didn't care. All you went out for was for fun. There was no intention to hurt or do nothing bad. You just wanted fun. No matter what your mum and dad said, you know what your parents say, you listen, but out the door, that was it.
No, I make sure, because we've had the worst case scenario, and I knew about the worst case scenario. Do you know what I mean? One thing I'm not scared to do as a parent, which I know a lot, I'm just saying, but one thing I'm not prepared to do is, but I am prepared, if I say there's a punishment or a consequence, let's get 2018, if there's a consequence, I see it through. You know, when my oldest son, he's 26 now, big man, but when he was like 18 and he wanted to start flexing himself at home and being the man of the house, but I'm paying the rent, I told him then, you know, this is why children start flexing, because it's time for you to move out. And you don't have to move out, but if you're here, these are my rules. If you're here, EastEnders is not anymore, but EastEnders is going on every night. If you're here, then I am watching Beverly Hill Babes or whatever stupidness, whatever it is. No, I'm not watching Top Gear. No, you can't have the remote. That's for your house, yeah? And it really got to a point, and I am old school, but it did get to a point where he was like, I can't be here. I said, well, then you can't be here. I had to watch my son sleep in a car outside my house for 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
On the door and saying to my older son, my little one, he was only about 10 then, can I have a quilt? And my little one was shouting up, says, Mum, Casey says, can you have a quilt? I said, no, quilts are for in the house. They're not for in the car. Yeah? Sometimes it is love, because you have to give children accountability and choices to let them know this is your decision. No one's kicking you out. But while you're here, this is how I work. And when you're in society, society does exactly the same. Society will administer consequences. They're called laws. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the last school that Jason was at, they said, we don't. I said, what is your behaviour policy? They said, we don't have a behaviour policy. I said, why not? They said, we like to think that children are disciplined enough to make up to understand what the rules are. And I said, yeah, that's amazing to have that free kind of ruling in your school. Imagine if we had that in the outside society. Oh no, we don't need rules. We just expect people to just do the right thing. What stupidness is that? We don't have a behaviour policy.
Like Mad Max, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry,
Mad Max.
Tough
Sorry?
love. Yes. Janet McNeish is saying tough love. I know a lot of parents are kind of wincing at that tough love business, but you know what? What it raises is accountable people. If tough love, I'm glad I had tough love, because it makes me appreciate, once again, gratitude for everything that I have. I really do appreciate it. And I think we are raising a generation of soft children that we so don't want to give them tough love. Well, the others, not me, but we so don't want to give them tough love because we remember how hard it was, that we don't want to give that tough love. But look at the young people we have today. A lot of them don't really understand or abide by or want to be accountable for their own behaviour. Am I speaking out of turn? Anybody can challenge me. I'm ready. Anybody? Come on.
Wait for him.
You might know something different. Share with me. This is why we're here, a community of people to share love, to engage, to... Good evening, Teresa. I can see you there. You know, I'm not afraid to speak as I find, because Emma says, I had tough love. Oh. She just blown me out the water, Steve. She said...
What'd she say?
But I am a pushover parent now with the monkey. And that's what I'm saying, Emma, you are in a majority, love. Hi, love, because that is what's happened. Unfortunately, we remember how it felt for us, and we don't want our kids to ever feel that way. And so we give them more love. But what we forget is they don't know what tough love is. So all they know is softness. Now she's coming back.
Don't you think as a parent, sorry, Anne, but don't you think as a parent, your job is to be able to understand the personality of your child? Because, you know, you have two children, you bring them up identical. One of them, you probably don't need no rules, and that one would be perfect. But the second one would be a total nutcase, and he does need rules, he does need boundaries. So I think as a parent, you just need to understand the personality.
She's just saying exactly what you said there, Steve. Emma just said, but saying that, I have created children who have empathy for others. Amen. And she's also saying, and they are respectful. It is each and every individual. What works for one, there's definitely no hard and fast rule. You can't just have a rule book for one and then, because everybody's... Tony, wait, hey guys, you're supposed to be at my front door. Tony's supposed to be standing here tonight. I don't know what she's doing on the, unless she's sitting outside on the phone. Marcia, Emil says, so true. Children need boundaries.
Yeah.
But Emma Jane says, couldn't agree more. All three of my children need different parenting. Exactly. You see, Emma, it's so different.
Yeah.
Why?
It's spot on, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, you know, coming from the school of tough love, I don't think it's pushover parenting, Emma, at all. I think it's being intuitive to your children's needs. Now, I say that because my big son, who I told you slept out in the car for 2 weeks, he was a London boy. He was born and brought up in London. South, dirty South, Steve. I know you don't like the dirty South, yeah? I know you was an East London boy. But he was brought up from London, so he had a whole different set of ethics and morals than the children that were born in Essex had. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
You, Steve. I'm talking to you.
I can't. Listen. I've got the phone. I can't hear it. It's all messed up on the screen. Sorry, I missed that last question.
Tony said, "Don't call me. Don't call me. The M25 is the road to hell."
I've got to do it. See,
you know what? That's a shit accent.
Your voice is going. I'm losing I'm losing the audio.
You've got I can see you. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I can see you, but the audio's coming and going.
Oh, sorry. Tony, who is supposed to be coming here this evening, she's stuck
Yeah.
at 25. She said it's the road to hell. I said we all know here because she's from Wales, so she never.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's a
Now,
M4, M25. Yeah, okay.
he knows now. And then Emma Jane said, big up the East London.
Yeah, Essex.
She lives in Essex now. She lives in a lovely place down by the sea. Have you been to Leigh-on-Sea?
Yes, I Leon C. Well, I'm not too far away, am I, really, when you think about it? Well,
Don't big,
well, I'm in Malden.
yeah,
Malden's not too bad.
yeah, no, that's miles away. Don't big it up. You're in Malden.
Yeah,
You've got your own
that's-
water park anyway.
compared to where I come from, Hackney, it's a big difference, massive difference
Yes.
from
Right.
East London to Essex. But yeah, I'm enjoying my stay here. I'm enjoying not the stay, the move. It's brilliant. I wish I'd done this years ago.
What do you find different? Right, if do you find anything different about people that are in Essex to people in East London? Which do you prefer? Which do you prefer, and why? What do you miss? London and Essex.
People in Essex, I think in London, London is too fast, too busy, too aggressive.
Yes,
It's become that gradually over the years I've been. I mean, I've loved born and bred in Hackney, loved it. But over the years, it's become fast, aggressive. You come out, people out here will say good morning. They say good afternoon. People stop and talk. People have time for people in Essex. And I've noticed I've only been there a year now. When I go back into London to do business or to see people, I can't wait to turn around at A12 and come back. Because I walk there. If I go, I've still got the Essex attitude where I say good morning. But you do that in London, people look at you, they go like that. They're either scared or they think you want something. And it's so sad. But I will maintain the person that I am. And I will still smile and I will still say hello. They want to reply, it's up to them. They want
Yeah,
to run away, it's up to them, But
yeah.
I am me and that's me. But you do get the occasional person who will turn around and say, oh, pleasantly surprised when they see someone smiles and someone says hello and they return the favour. But I say in Essex, it's
About
completely
London.
different. Everyone, pardon?
What do you miss about London?
What do I miss about London? My daughter
Oh, bless you. Oh,
and
bless.
my granddaughter. I've got 1 year old granddaughters. I miss them too. But they're this weekend. Granddad's babysitting.
Ah,
So
you're going to babysit for your granddaughter, your 1-year-old granddaughter.
we are over this weekend. Yep, yep. She's coming Saturday
Wow.
night. So
Oh,
yeah, it's just the same
wow.
again. It's just history repeating itself, isn't it? Really.
Take pictures,
Um,
please. We've got Steve
pardon?
here from Sarasota, Florida. Good evening,
Oh,
Stephen. I hope it's
yeah.
lovely out for you. How cool. And we've got Janet, another one, big up South London. Thank you, Janet, with me. She's a Peckham girl. We were laughing earlier. We were talking. We had
We don't
earlier.
do South London East. We don't do South London, darling. Sorry.
What parks have you got like Greenwich Park? Greenwich Park is the boom. There's no park that can top Greenwich Park. What park have
Have
you
you
got?
heard of, listen, darling, have you heard of Victoria Park?
Yeah, I've been to Victoria Park. I put events on there. And what?
Well, there you go. You left south to come east. So there you go. You answered your own question. End of.
You haven't got the view that we have in Greenwich Park.
I don't
Daniel.
want your view, sweetheart.
Good evening, Daniel. Emma says, I will never forget when I first left London. Someone said good morning to us. My children were petrified.
That says it all. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Victoria Park. There is no view that can equal standing at the top of the observatory, looking over Blackheath Down to the whole
Quite
of
nice.
the Docklands.
It is a pleasant. It's a pleasant view. Absolutely, yes.
It's pleasant, isn't it?
Pleasant view. Yeah. Pleasant view. Yeah. You
With
still
that,
can't beat Hackney, though,
Nelson's big bell,
listen. Ask anybody from Hackney. You can't beat it. Simple.
Victoria Park.
Well, not Victoria. Hackney in general as a place. The people, the sense of community. Actually, it used to be a really lovely sense of community. That's what I miss. That's gone, which is what you have in Essex. Essex has a great sense of community.
I tell you what, Emma's just said something really close to my heart. She said, I miss the public transport. It is shocking in Essex. And I have to 100% agree. Absolutely shocking. I know you've got a car, Steve. I've got a car as well. But you know what? I've got a 14 and a 15-year-old that want to have a life. LSD said you can take the boy out of Hackney. You can't.
Who's that? LSD? Oh, God. Oh, I don't believe it. Yeah. You can't take Hackney out the boy. Yeah, he knows the score.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I've moved out to the country because I wanted to get away, same thing as you, but it's really difficult. It's really difficult for the kids they're really restricted to this area because the nearest, even to go to Brentwood, it's maybe 15 minutes in the car, and the train comes, the bus, we don't have a train station, the bus comes every hour. It starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, it finishes at 6 o'clock at night. that's it, then you're stranded. Emma Jane says, now look, Emma Jane's has got to contradict me here. She says, Greenwich is great, but, and you know it's not going to be good when you hit a but, yeah? But she made me laugh. She said, Greenwich is great, but I always run back through the foot tunnel back to the east. You know,
there you go. Was that the Rotherhithe Tunnel?
Yeah, no, not there. Well,
Yeah.
there's two in Rotherhithe, and then there's the one actually in Greenwich. The walking one. You can't go on your bike there because you get told off, because I used to get told off. Again, Janet McNish says Greenwich Park in South London, it's the best. Good evening. Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, what have I done? Help. I can't see anybody.
It.
I have broken it. Ah, there we are. Anita, good evening. Well, Steve, so
Yes, dear.
if anybody knows of somebody that might need some of your very personal services that enable people to get back in touch and connect with what makes them happy in terms of therapy, addictions, phobias, fears, confidence, anything else, how would they get in contact with you? That you're over in Malden.
Yes, but all you got to do is your New You Therapy on Facebook. Just type in New You Therapy. Bang, I'm here.
You put that down in our link at the end of this session.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
So that everyone can contact you, because you know it must be for a man. And if any one of you up there knows a man that might need some support, wouldn't it be great to have someone like Steve to talk to? Really, it would. Steve over in Sarasota says we have a good service here in Sarasota, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Same as us, Steve. But I'd rather be in Florida with a bus service like that than be.
Yeah, you can pop in and see Disney World, can't you? That's good. Yeah.
But thank you for that, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If anyone has needs of your service, wants to just have is your consultation free, or is it, how does it work with you?
So I missed that. The audio's gone, sorry.
Good night, Emma Jane. So how does it work with you? You're going to put your details down below. But
that's correct.
Did you get a 15-minute free consultation? I know that's what I do.
Yeah. I would normally do up to an hour consultation, and I won't charge for the consultation, and we go from there.
All right. Okay.
We work it from there. It depends what the client needs, what you need, how many sessions we might need for the particular problem, and we work it.
Oh, brilliant. Look at that. Thank you so much, Janet. Steve, Janet has just put your website link up for us.
Actually, oh, thank you very much, Janet. Janet from where? Where is Janet? Where is Janet?
Janet's in Peckham.
Oh, South London.
No. She's a counsellor in Harley Street. She's taking a little bit of time off at the moment, but that's what she does. That's what her occupation is. So very much along the same lines as us.
Sorry, I missed that. Her occupation is.
Pardon?
I missed that last. Hello.
Yeah. One more thing, Anne-Marie. I love it when you talk to a fellow Londoner. Your lovely accent comes back.
Sure.
I know, Emma. Oh. Do you know? You know what it is? Is because I lived in Germany for 7 years, okay? And when I went to Germany, I was just proper South. And then when I got to Germany, I realised that when I used to talk with my South London accent, people would say, Was ist das? Du bist English? They thought I was speaking a whole different language when I'd be talking like, what's going on? Shut your mouth, what's going on? They couldn't understand a word I said. So I had to speak the Queen's clipped English so that they could interact with me. Because when they learn on tapes and videos, they only ever hear clipped English, you see. So that's why I so well now. So, Emma, she's telling me form.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much.
I did your telephone voice, Stephen. Do you remember when I rang you at the jewellers and you didn't know it was me? And you were like that. Yeah, hello, 912141.
Giving all my trade secrets, darling.
I know. He's had so many jobs. He wears so many different hats. But we have been here. We have been so grateful to have you with us, to share with us.
Thank you.
To give us an insight of how men really think and how we can be more approachable to love. I've loved that. And I hope that's been really beneficial to all the women up there.
Yeah.
Being, are they from Venus? Are we from Mars? No, just be, well, you tell us, Steve, your parting words to us. Just give us one snippet that will let us know what we could do to really keep that relationship communicative.
Well, you just said it right. Just be yourself. Don't ever change, because eventually you will meet your own kind.
Yeah.
What more could you say? That's it. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
No hairs, no grey. Be vulnerable. Be you. Yeah, you'll go through the pain. People will take the mic, or people will take the piss, but just be you, and eventually you will meet your own kind.
That's right.
If you close your heart, you're gonna end up meeting hard people. You don't want that.
Yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the video keeps freezing because you know what? It's living out in the sticks. We're living out in the country, and all you townies with all your extra, we pay higher taxes. We haven't got no. But why do we live in the country, Steve?
Because we love the fresh air.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. Fresh air. Yeah, I wouldn't mind less fresh air and a good bus service.
Okay, we'll go halfway. Live on the fringes of London.
Yeah, well, we are now, aren't we? We'll be Greater London before you know it. Brentwood is Greater London now. It is actually
Greater.
Greater.
It's actually, yeah.
You'll never be Greater London. Malden. No. You're too far out.
I'm on the coast, aren't I? I'm on the coast. Lovely fresh air, the sea.
Oh, that is the first time I've heard Malden called the coast.
Yeah. Well, it is. You look at it, you can see the yachts, all the boats, all the ships.
Sweetie,
on the water. It's lovely.
So glamorous. Santra Malden.
Yeah, Santra St. Malden, that's correct. You know it, yeah. It's up and coming. We've got a Costa coffee now, so we're doing all right.
Oh, the town's coming. If you've got a Costa, the town is coming to you, love. There's no
avoiding. It's on its way up.
LSD. It's so funny when I say that. Sorry. More equals.
Well, you have to meet LSD because he will do the bit of work you requested.
Ellis, we want to come down and cut some tracks with you, bruv. Oh, Janet says we've got a Costa in Peckham. Listen, you started Costa in Peckham. Trust. Actually, there were some really good coffee shops in Peckham back in the day. Yes. Now it's all gentrified, Peckham, isn't it? It's not like it used to be. There's no good evening, Naomi-o. It's not like it used to be when we used to have the old spiels late night, Kings on the Rye in Peckham, man. Bring it on, sis. You'll get me. Chat. Your friend Ellie. Just, oh, look, it's my brethren. Come and say hello to my peeps, Jason. Oh, look, it's my... Is
this your young man?
Yeah.
Hello, Jason. How are you, sir?
Smoking jacket. It's no, you don't understand. He thinks it's because to have a smoke. No. No, it's a smoking jacket. What do they call them dressing gowns that men used to wear in the old days? Smoking jackets, right?
Smoking jacket, yes. You got a smoking jacket, yeah.
So you go and smoke? No, you fool.
I didn't say I was going to smoke. No, you fool.
Yes, so I've tried to say it 100 times now, Steve. You've been an absolute pleasure to have on. And I do hope you're back again. Thank you for breaking down our barriers. Thank you for allowing us to be vulnerable. Thank you for letting us know that there are still real men out there. Janet, Jason, Janet said hi. Thank you for letting us know that love is the greatest thing.
Absolutely. Every time.
And you've given the answer so many times tonight. You absolutely. I tell you what, Steve, your lady is a very, very lucky lady. And, you know, she just needs to know that, because otherwise when she's standing there if she makes one wrong move, you're going to have 20 women behind her waiting to just jump her out.
Yeah, but I also look at myself as a very lucky man to have her.
Oh, you see? LSD said, love conquers all. Look at all these lovely, gorgeous men. I mean, all right, is LSD taken as well? Yeah,
it's taken as well, yes.
See what I mean? Look, all these lovely young men just coming on. You're taken. No, you ain't going nowhere.
Perhaps we should start a dating agency.
I think for all these single women out here, of which there are a few, I think you need to set up a panel. And that is it, right? You and LSD need to panel, and we can just send, you can be a vetting service. Yeah, look, Janet says, have they got any suitable friends? Janet, I'm on it. Don't worry, I'm on it. I think that you should set up a panel, and that when we get a man, we say, listen, I can't go out of you until you've been through the panel. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Is that cool? And Emma Jane says you can't buy true love. Stop it, Emma. Stop it, Steve. Stop it, LSD. Keep talking about all the love things when there's all of us ladies out here looking for the special thing.
It's a different journey.
Steve,
What's come? It's coming. It's coming. Hold on.
for me. Do you promise, Steve?
I'll find. Don't worry. It will happen.
Are you looking for someone for me?
Don't get so excited. Calm down now.
Sorry, my eyes is really popping out of my head then, weren't
Yeah, calm down. What can I do with you? Jesus Christ, God. I think you better come into my office for some therapy, darling.
Janet said, keep hope alive.
Yeah, don't worry. It will happen. It will come.
Do you know what? I actually, one thing that Armand, you remember I told you about, you will find that special thing, Anne-Marie. Bless you, LSD. Oh, thank you for that prophecy. I'm holding tight to that prophecy. LSD said the special things are coming.
You're in.
Yeah.
I missed that. But the audio on this thing keeps.
It's you, Steve. It's you're way back in the sticks, babe. You're way back in the sticks. We're all still here. Are you with me, darling? Your brethren. Oh, Emma Jane said play it cool. Oops.
Play, yeah. Oh, mate, you definitely need to know, love.
Emma,
Oh, I got fun.
it's a bit late for that one, darling. It's a bit late for that one. No. Because remember when I told you at the beginning of the program, the LSD, Steve's still on dial-up. Steve's still on dial-up. What does that mean? Talking about Steve, I don't know what that means. LSD said you're still on dial-up. What does that mean? What's happened to your phone? Steve.
Can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah, Steve, you keep cutting out.
I don't know. I keep seeing I don't know what's happening, but it's all going mad. I don't know what's going on. Also,
done, baby. I don't know what you've done. No broadband. LSD saying you've got no broadband.
well, I've got broadband. We're here. I can hear you, so we're broadband still on.
But can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Yes, I can.
But you've frozen. We've got just a portrait of you.
Will keep coming through and causing problems.
Oh, I'm so. But we've had you, so we are so lucky to have had you, for you to have enlightened us and shared your wisdom with us. And congratulations to you for finding the love of your life.
Thank you very much.
The love of your life is out there waiting to meet you. Isn't that true, Steve?
Absolutely spot on.
And when you find them, you are more than welcome. I'm giving you permission to send them through the School of Hard Knocks, Steve and Ellis's School of Don't Mess My Mate Around school.
Yeah.
They're setting up.
Wicked.
I'm holding them to that. Now, listen, Ellis and Steve, Marcia's waiting for me to ask you the question. So we did a live about, me and Marcia actually did a live about 2 weeks ago, yeah? And we had such a fantastic time, and we were really, everyone was connecting and vibing, and we were talking about all these special skills we had. And Marcia is a singer, and I am okay, anyway, we'll find something for me. And we were just saying that we really wanted to make, you know, like Jules Holland does his hootenanny on New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
So we were thinking we want to do something special on New Year's Eve, but we just want cool, vibey people there. We want some nice sounds, maybe a little food.
Listen, hold on.
Create something beautiful, right? And I said,
hold on.
Yeah, when Steve comes on, I'm going to Marie Fogg replying to Ellis. I wish. Oh, I don't know. There's some little things going on the. I don't know.
What's going on? What's going on? Well, listen, listen, Anne. Let me tell you something. Ellis and myself, in the days of old, we were known as the main ingredient, spinning the sounds for people, and we still do it. We used to do stuff in Essex. Yeah. Perhaps if you're really nice, Ellis and myself will come and do the music on New Year's Eve.
No, Marcia! Oh my God!
There we go.
Wow, do you know what? This whole thing has been gathering momentum. I said to Marcia the other day, because loads of women said, I'm going to come. You do need to generate a few Mando, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that. But yeah, we've been playing rare groove, disco, soul stuff. Yeah, all the favourites, all the dance tracks, the whole lot. Take you back in time to the days of old.
Steve,
Yeah.
am so down with that. And I swear down,
There you go.
the venue now. Marcia, can you hear what Steve's saying?
Yeah.
Steve has just put it out there, right? Wendy,
Yeah.
hello, Wendy. Long time no see, my darling. Say hello to Tony for me. I'm telling you what, Marcia, Steve has laid it down. LSD is on the line. All of the ladies that were talking about it last time, we have started a movement. New Year's Eve, we've got loads of time. This is going to be such a special, awesome occasion.
Absolutely, yeah.
Marie Fogg says, yes, she's got the clap hands. She's got the music hands. Marie.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
Yes,
love it.
Because when you start talking like this and you breathe life into something, we spoke about it 2 weeks ago. And since then, I've spoken to my son about it. He's only 27. He was like, Mum, I'm so down with that. You know, to go out in London now on New Year's Eve is such a mega rip-off. I mean, what are we talking? Where's this at? Marie, the world is our oyster. We need to find somewhere that's kind of pretty central to everybody, but everybody can just look. This is the chat. Trent Park. Yeah. I don't know about, well, maybe. But we can talk about it. We can still keep it. I might even set up a page where we can discuss this.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
Because, look, Marcia's saying, yay! Because how many times... New Year's Eve, right? I think the last time I went out on New Year's Eve properly was when I was 49 and I went to the ministry. You know when you can't let it go? You know when you've been a raver and you're just like, I still need to do that. And then there's that one time then you go out and you think, oh my gosh, I can't, this raving's done for me, yeah? That kind of raving. I was 49, I hung out good, but that was like £45 for a ticket. And then you've got to buy your drinks all night and then you've got to get double fare cab home. It was like, you're nudging 150 quid. What's that about?
Well, we will change this year. We'll change it.
Right. So this is what Marie says. Oh, look, I've got lots of comments here, Steve. Marie,
there you go.
Marie's asking, where's this at? It's going to be confirmed. Marcia says, yay. Marcia says, it sounds awesome. Marie Fogg says, you're talking to the girl who danced a week in Ibiza from waking to sleeping. Ask LSD and Matthew Slipmat Nelson.
Slipmat, okay. All right, there we go. We're called the main ingredient and we'll get you dancing your socks off all night.
And Janet says, hold it in Peckham, Janet. I think you're being...
No. Pushing, no. No.
Emma Jane is laughing. Emma Jane says all around her house because she's got a lovely new house right by the beach and we can have a beach party.
Yeah, see it there?
Didn't actually offer that. I was just putting that out there. Is that all right, Em? Yeah. No, we'll find somewhere central. We'll find something.
Yeah.
I'll be able to. But mind you, we're all up this end now. Most of us, I'm up north in Lancashire.
North Lancashire, yes. No, I see that, North Lancashire. You better come stay the night with someone.
Yeah, Marie, I think you need to come down these sides, babes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But we just need to get on it and find somewhere. We just make it.
Here we go.
Right. Ooh. Just leave that one with me. I'm just gonna have a word with some. Get your puffers out for the beach in December. That's Emma down by the beach. Marcia said, let's make it Marcia said, let's make it a last man woman standing dance.
Yeah, oh, God bless.
and Tony said, I'm at the bar. I can't find you. Crazy people. Yeah, this is going to happen. This is actually going to happen. Oh my God.
Yeah, okay.
Start losing some weight and stuff and just anyway, Marie said, I do need to get down there without a doubt. Never been to London? Marie's never been to London.
Obviously not.
Ellis? Is Ellis still there? Steve, do you know Marie?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Been to London before?
Who, sorry?
Marie. Has she never been to London before?
I don't know Marie, so I can't tell you.
Well, she's citing you and LSD. She's danced hard, partied hard to you and Slipmat and...
Ellis might know. No, Slipmat, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Ellis knows us, so we're getting a bit of a crowd here, aren't we?
Yeah, we are getting a little bit...
We've got to stop meeting like this.
But listen, we have actually been on for ages now. Emma was supposed to be going and getting the kids washed and dressed and putting into bed. Oh, no, she hasn't even got young anymore. What is the time? We've been here for, look at us, 20.
10, yeah.
Look at us. Steve, we came on here at 8 o'clock. It's now.
Yeah, 10 o'clock, quarter to 10.
Look at this. You are naughty people. We really do have to go. We've said thank you very much for coming. We've enjoyed your company. We are not an all-night radio station. If that's what you want, then you need to ask, don't you?
That can be arranged as well.
We just want to say a very big thank you to everybody who's interacted this evening. It's been fantastic. Althea, darling, it's too late now, love. It's 21:43. Okay, we're supposed to finish at 9 o'clock. Oh, Marie says, I went to the Ibiza SOS event, and in Ibiza, May just gone. Check her out. She met Ellis there. Ooh. And I'm in bed before the kids these days. I know that one. I know that one. Since when was it a thing that you come home and put your pajamas on as soon as you get home? It's not cool, is it? Is that when you're old?
Mature.
Mature, yes. Marcia is replying to Marie. She's like, oh my gosh. Tony says, I'll catch this on replay. You nutters. You proper live nutters. Oh, I like it. Makes me feel like I'm still doing it properly. You know what I mean? Anyway, no, we really have. We've been on an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, I've got things to do now. Yeah, definitely. All right, love.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for your company. It's been wonderful. Thank you, Anne, for inviting me.
Anna Maria.
And don't forget, we're there for you New Year's Eve. We're there to do the music.
Gotta make this happen, people. Well, okay. A very, very good night to you. You know our details. You know where to find us. Make it happen New Year's Eve. I want all your suggestions. Keep this going, because then we can make it happen. The more energy you put to it, the more momentum you put to it, the more to happen. I can't wait. Love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next Sunday, 7 o'clock. I've got a fantastic guest next Sunday. Oh, a brilliant guest next Sunday. And I've got a good guest.
Thank you.
Brilliant guest next Sunday. Good night, Steve. Thank you, sweetheart.
Good night, darling. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, all. I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
And everyone will, as I said, we'll see you next Sunday. You know the time, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. next Monday. And it's been an absolute pleasure. But bye for now and see you all soon. Bye-bye.